Hello, today we're going to continue to talk about polynomial long division, but this time our answers are going to have what's called a remainder. So just like before, this is a similar process to when you've done division with regular numbers, not polynomials. So just to talk about remainders, let me use an example with numbers. If I did 102 divided by 25, the answer I would get, 25 can go into 100 4 times. 4 times 25 is 100. 102 minus 100 is 2. That is the leftover amount that I have. So 25 goes into 102 4 times with 2 left over. That leftover is called the remainder. When you do this in a calculator, you get a decimal answer, because what your calculator does is it says, okay, it's 4 and then 2 over 25. But your calculator, instead of doing 2 over 25, would do it as a decimal. For today, we are going to write our remainders in fraction form. So we will have leftover things here. We won't get a 0 at the end like we've been getting. We'll get that leftover remainder, and I'll show you how to write a remainder as a fraction. So let's take a look at some examples. So even though these look really scary, it's a matter of doing the same steps over and over again. And these steps are exactly the same as when we didn't have remainders. It's just at the very, very end when we have a remainder, we're going to write our answer a little bit differently. That is all. So first things first, we need to set this up as long division. Let's start with this one. So what I'm dividing by, n plus 10 goes on the outside. What's getting divided, n squared plus 17n plus 60, goes on the inside. Just like in the other video, I might do some side work over here, but the work you actually need to show, I'll do right here with the long division. Hardest part's getting started. To get started, we need to divide. By divide, I mean first term divided by first term. What is n squared divided by n? It's just regular n. We put that regular n up top. It'll eventually be part of our answer. Now, going on from here, I need to multiply that n by the stuff on the outside. So I'm thinking n times n plus 10. N times n is n squared. N times 10 is 10n. Once I've done my multiplying, I'm going to subtract. So big minus sign in front. N squared minus n squared, those cancel. Remember, we do want things to cancel those first terms. So as long as they're canceling, we're looking pretty good. And then here I have 17n minus 10n, which is 7n. So I put that 7n here. The next thing we do is, do we have things to bring down yet? We've used n squared, we've used 17, and we haven't used that 60. So the next thing we do is we bring down plus 60. Now we're back at the top of our order here. I need to divide 7n by n. 7n divided by n, the n's cancel, I get just 7. Since it's a positive 7, I'm going to put plus 7 up top. Now I multiply. I'm thinking 7 times the outside stuff, n plus 10. 7 times n is 7n. 7 times 10 is 70. Now we subtract the whole thing. 7n minus 7n, those cancel, good news. 60 minus 70 gives me negative 10. I'm done at this point other than writing my final answer. I don't have anything left to bring down. Since this is not a 0 here, this right here is called the remainder. So we need to include that remainder as part of our answer. So just like before, our answer is the stuff we got up top. So n plus 7 plus our remainder number, which in this case is negative 10, over, so it's a fraction, what I divided by. This right here is my final answer to this problem. So again, it's how it divided evenly, which is n plus 7 times, plus our remainder over our divisor. So a little bit different at the very end with writing your final answer. Before, when we didn't have a remainder, we just wrote the stuff up top. When we do have a remainder, we include it as a fraction. So the process is the same. The ending just looks a little different. Not so bad once you get the hang of the 4 steps you need to do every time. Let's try one more. Okay, so we're going to do this one now. Notice this one's got a little bit more going on at the beginning, so it's going to be a slightly longer problem, but the process is still the same, still doing these steps over and over. So x plus 2 goes on the outside. What's getting divided? All of this goes on the inside. All right, let's do this. So first we divide, first term divided by first term. X to the third divided by x is x squared. So x squared goes up top. Now I multiply x squared times the outside stuff. X squared times x is x to the third. X squared times 2, 2x squared. Now I subtract the whole thing. X cubed minus x cubed, those cancel. 10x squared minus 2x squared gives me 8x squared. All right, after we subtract, we bring down. We only bring down one thing at a time. So we've used x to the third, we've used 10x squared. We have not used plus 25x, so we're gonna bring that down. Now we're back to dividing. 8x squared divided by x, that gives me 8x. So plus or positive 8x goes up top. Now I multiply. I'm thinking what I just got, 8x times the stuff on the outside. 8x times x is 8x squared. 8x times 2 is 16x. Now that I've multiplied, I need to subtract the whole thing. 8x squared minus 8x squared, those cancel. 25x minus 16x is 9x. Are we completely done yet? We're only completely done if we have nothing else left to bring down. Notice that we have not used this plus 23 yet, so I still have one more thing to bring down, but it is the very last item, so we're almost to the end here. All right, gotta do all this one more time. Start with dividing. 9x divided by x is just 9. Since it's positive, we put plus 9 up top. Now I multiply. So I'm thinking 9 times stuff on the outside, which is x plus 2. And again, you don't need to show me all this. It's just to kind of keep track of our work, just so you know where I'm getting things from. 9 times x is 9x. 9 times 2 is 18. Now that we've multiplied, we subtract. 9x minus 9x, that cancels. 23 minus 18, that's just 5. So we have nothing left to do. We have nothing left to bring down, sorry. We are completely done. Since this is not a 0 here, this 5 is my remainder. So all we have to do is write our final answer. We know that our final answer is everything we got up top, how it divided evenly. So x squared plus 8x plus 9 plus our remainder number, which was 5, and then as a fraction, so over or divided by our divisor, which is x plus 2. So this right here is my complete final answer. That is it for polynomial long division with remainders. Have a fantastic day.